is our trip from Ella to Nuwara Eliya, and we came across the waterfall. We pulled over for a little break, and behind me there's been at some point a landslide. They're fairly common, but we're up in the mountains. We're still going up. I think that building that is partially built was involved in the landslide because it's really not very level anymore. It's got quite a sag to this side, and they cleaned the road up and just dumped the material on the other side. But and it was supposed to rain today. We've been pretty lucky, but this is just kind of a view of being in the mountains. We decided to take a little drive out of Nuwara Eliya and down the mountain past the train station. And driving through the mountains here is pretty spectacular because they're all covered in tea plantations, and when you realize how many millions of acres of tea there is, this seems to be the place that supplies the world with tea. And it's fun driving on a motorcycle if you're into motorcycles. The road is right over there, which is only probably 200-300 feet, but in order to get from there to where we are, you got to follow the mountain, which goes down and around and then back out and then back in around here and back into that crevice and then back out here. So it's probably about half a mile to drive to get 300 feet. We didn't get a lot of footage in Nuwara Eliya, partly because it was really cold and rained quite a bit while we were up there, and some of the footage that I did take for some reason won't load into my computer. So anyway, from Nuwara Eliya we are on our way to Kandy. We're leaving Nuwara Eliya and headed down the mountain to hopefully some warmer weather. But this is what we're driving through: tea plantations and all these terrace gardens. A lot of agriculture here in the mountains. Still en route from Nuwara Eliya to Kandy, and this is the biggest waterfall we've come across so far, but there's been lots of landslides. There was a lot of flooding here in November, and they were recommending tourists didn't come. And I can see why. A lot of these roads had to have been closed. And this is the other side of the bridge. You can see that that bank gave out, and sort of the bank on the other side, and they just clean it off the road and dump it over the bank. Still on our way to Kandy, and we just stopped. I'm thinking that this river has changed a lot since the major floodings. You can see where there's been landslides down the mountain. In fact, I'm standing right beside one that pretty sure there was vegetation on that at some point, and they've just dumped the dirt over the edge. Oh yeah. You want to get past before that falls down. We've arrived in beautiful downtown Kandy, and we're just still walking around the city a little bit. Not so much into the downtown area, but we're going to do sort of a walk around the lake. And somewhere on the hillside on the other side of the lake is where our hotel is. On the edge of the lake in Kandy is the Queen's Bath. And there's an island just out here, which I'll have to find the history on the little island because it's really well kept. But this is the Queen's Bath, and we'll go inside. So this is the inside of the Queen's Bath. It's for more people than just the Queen, I assume, but it's water, I think, that just draws from the lake. And there's an upstairs. We'll go upstairs. So this is the upstairs of the Queen's bath, which was an add-on. It was originally just one story, but this is now sort of a museum about the area. And directly across from the Queen's bath is the Temple of the Sacred Tooth, which reportedly has one of Buddha's teeth. And I think there's something, today's Saturday, and I'm not sure if that's why, but there seems to be lots of people dressed to go in today. So all these black specks you see in the trees are flying fox, also known as peacocks. And this one tree is always full of them for some reason. Doesn't seem like the other trees are. We don't usually do the tourist thing, but this is the red mosque in Kansas, which was completed in and it's the largest mosque, and oldest mosque, and it's just unusual. Good job in that. And if you need your shoes fixed, there's a guy here on the side of the street who fix anything. She hates when I put her in the picture. So this is our last night, Candy. We were only here for 2 nights. This is sort of a pit stop. We're headed for Trincomalee tomorrow, which is on the beach. It's been okay. It's a busy city, very busy city. Doesn't seem to be as many tourists here. I don't know whether that is a reflection of the war and people either can't get here or just don't want to fly. Anyway, tomorrow we're off to Trincomalee and the beach. Good morning from Sigiri, Sri Lanka. We left Candy early this morning, and we're about halfway to Trincomalee, which is where we're headed. And we should be there in another 2.5 hours, I think.
The wild elephants.
Oh, he's big.
It's big.
This is Trincomalee Beach, and there's a fort up here on the hill, which I think we're going to go to, and there's a couple of temples. One is obvious right there, and then I see walls of the fort, and then there's another temple right out at the very end. We're going to see if we can get to the one on the end, I think. We're at Trincomalee, and we're in Deer Park, and Trincomalee has wild deer that just kind of roam the city, and they're really not afraid of people, but you'll find them just like wandering through the streets. This is a place called Deer Park that we're in, and there seems to be lots of them, and I think it's because people come here and feed them. Are you gonna take one home? I think you could fit one of those babies in your backpack. We're parked in front of Fort Frederick, and there's an active military base inside the walls here. You can walk through some of it. You need tickets to walk around all of it. Some of it's free. And there is a really nice beach on this side of the town.
Crocodile Park. But we didn't see any crocodile.
We did see some coconuts.
It's kind of scary.
The interpreter?
To drive around here and you know there's a crocodile in this lake and there's no fencing or anything like that.
But they like the people on the back of the bike. They don't like the drivers so much because we don't taste this stuff.
Right. Uh,
So Shema has promised me that there is a horse statue down on the beach. This is the second road we've come in, and it seems like a little fishing village. But now we're gonna go hunt for the horse, right? So I have to apologize because I thought I was being led astray walking down a beach to find a horse statue, but holy cow, it's there. It's covered in bushes, but it's there. Who the heck would put that there? So I don't know why it's there or who put it here. It seems to be cleaned out, but we can't get to it because there's a barbed wire fence in front of it. There's got to be another way in, but GPS doesn't tell you there is. Looks like the Canadian government gave money to the Sri Lankan fisheries back in 29th of August 2011 to upgrade the buildings here. I think this is supposed to be the ice plant, but you can see that really nothing is going on here. These buildings are all kind of delinquent, so it might have been a good idea at the time, but doesn't seem to have been kept up. This is our last day in Trincomalee, and we're sitting here by the beach having a milkshake. And the little fishing village that I was at earlier, somebody came along. Apparently it was just a little ice house that was built by the Canadians, and it was kind of confusing because he said that the rest of the buildings were built by Italy, but were all wiped out by the tsunami. The tsunami was in 2004, and the plaque on the building on the ice house was 2011, but it's all delinquent now. Hard to get good information. Anyway, we're headed across the island tomorrow. It's about a 5-hour drive, and I'll see you from the other side of Sri Lanka.